Dasuki's sureties set to perfect bail conditions as another court on different case adjourns trial. The sureties billed to stand for the release of former National Security Advisor, NSA, Colonel Sambo Dasuki are on the final stage of perfecting the bail conditions granted him by Justice Ajayi Ojukwu of the Federal High Court, Abuja. It was gathered that the sureties who volunteered on their own to bail the ex-NSA were said to have substantially met the bail conditions as announced by the court. Tax certificates and other valid documents brought forward by the sureties are being verified for clearance as directed by the judge. Sambo Dasuki may be released by the agencies of government upon the perfection of the bail conditions in compliance with the court order. Meanwhile, in another court, the trial of Sambo Dasuki and the alleged misappropriation of security fund brought against him by the federal government has been put off again. The High Court of Federal Capital Territory, FCT, put off the trial of Dasuki following the inability of the federal government to file the list of exhibits to be tendered against the ex-NSA as required by law. At the resumed counsel to Colonel Dasuki, Mr. Adeola Adedipe raised objection against the continued trial of his client on the ground that the prosecution team led by Mr. Rotimi Jacobs has not complied with some provisions of the law. Adedipe, who stood for Joseph Daudu and Ahmed Raji, informed Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf that contrary to Section 379 of the Administration of the Criminal Justice Act, ACJA, 2015, the prosecution has not made the list of exhibits available to Dasuki to enable him to prepare his defense in compliance with the law. Although, the prosecution has already called its witness, Mr. Michael, into the box. The objection raised by Dasuki's counsel was agreed upon by Justice Baba Yusuf, who remarked that the process of law must be complied with in the interest of justice and fair play. Justice Baba Yusuf said that any attempt to circumvent any section of the provision of the law can make nonsense of the trial in the end. The court, therefore, adjourned the trial to September 27 and 28 as well as October 8 and 9, 2018 for the continuation of trial. The court ordered that necessary processes must be filed and served on parties before the return dates. Dasuki, through his counsel, had objection tendering of the voluminous documents that were not clearly stated in the list of the exhibit being sought to be tendered against him by the federal government. He has specifically insisted that most of the documents sought to be tendered against him were from unknown people who were not listed as witnesses in his trial and that such documents are objectionable. The position of Dasuki was adopted by other defendants in the trial who in their submission urged the court to compel the prosecution to comply with the necessary provision of the law to make the trial go unhindered. Also, counsel to Aminu Babakusa, Mr. Solomon Umosan applied to the court for a permission of the court to allow his client to travel abroad for a medical checkup. The application was not opposed by the government's counsel Rotimi Jacobs, who told the court that the applicant had once been gone abroad for the medical checkup on the permission of the court and came back for his trial. Justice Baba Yusuf, while granting the application, ordered his traveling passport be returned to him to enable go for the medical checkup and that the applicant must return to the country before the adjourned date and return the traveling passport to the court custody.